Exodus chapter 16 through 18. And they departed from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. And on the 15th day, in the second month, after their departure from the land of Egypt, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron. And the children of Israel said to them, Would we have died smitten by the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and ate bread to satisfy? For ye have brought us out into the wilderness, to slay all this congregation with hunger. And the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I will rain bread upon you out of the heaven, and the people shall go forth, and they shall gather their daily portion for the day, that I may try them whether they will walk in my law or not. And it shall come to pass on the 6th day, that they shall prepare whatsoever they have brought in, and it shall be double of what they shall have gathered for the day daily. And Moses and Aaron said to all the congregation of the children of Israel, At even ye shall know that the Lord has brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning ye shall see the glory of the Lord, inasmuch as he hears your murmuring against God. And who are we, that ye continue to murmur against us? And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord gives you in the evening flesh to eat, and bread in the morning to satiate ye. Because the Lord has heard your murmuring, which ye murmur against us. And what are we? For your murmuring is not against us, but against God. And Moses said to Aaron, Say to all the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near before God, for he has heard your murmuring. And when Aaron spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and they turned toward the wilderness, and the glory of the Lord appeared in a cloud. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, Towards evening ye shall eat flesh, in the morning ye shall be satisfied with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it was evening, and quails came up and covered the camp. In the morning it came to pass, as the dew ceased round about the camp, that behold, on the face of the wilderness was a small thing like white coriander seed, as frost upon the earth. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, What is this? For they knew not what it was. And Moses said to them, This is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is that which the Lord has appointed. Gather of it each man for his family, a homer for each person, according to the number of your souls. Gather each of you with his fellow lodgers. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some much and some less. And I measured the homer full. He that had gathered much had nothing over, and he that had gathered less had no lack. Each gathered according to the need of those who belonged to him. And Moses said to them, Let no man leave of it till the morning. But they did not hearken to Moses, but some left of it until the morning. And it bred worms and stank. And Moses was irritated with them. And they gathered every morning, each man what he needed. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass on the 6th day, they gathered double what was needed, 2 homers for one man. And all the chiefs of the synagogue went and reported it to Moses. And Moses said to them, Is not this the word which the Lord spoke? Tomorrow is the Sabbath, a holy day of rest to the Lord. Bake that ye will bake, and seethe that ye will seethe, and all that is over leave to be laid for the morrow. And they left of it till the morning, as Moses commanded them, and it stank not, neither was there worm in it. And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath to the Lord, and it shall not be found in the plain. 6 days ye shall gather it, and on the 7th day is a Sabbath day, for there shall be none on that day. And it came to pass on the 7th day, that some of the people went forth to gather, and found none. And the Lord said to Moses, How long are ye unwilling to hearken to my commands and my law? See, for the Lord has given you this day as the Sabbath. Therefore he has given you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Ye shall sit each of you in your houses. Let no one go forth from his place on the 7th day. And the people kept Sabbath on the 7th day. And the children of Israel called the name of it man, and it was white coriander seed, and the taste of it was as a wafer with honey. And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Fill a homer with manna, to be laid up for your generations, that they may see the bread which ye ate in the wilderness, when the Lord led you forth out of the land of Egypt. And Moses said to Aaron, Take a golden pot, and cast into it 1 full homer of manna, and thou shalt lay it up before God, to be kept for your generations, as the Lord commanded Moses. And Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel ate manna 40 years, until they came to the land they ate manna, until they came to the region of Phoenicia. Now the homer was the 10th part of 3 measures. And all the congregation of the children of Israel departed from the wilderness of Sin, according to their encampments, by the word of the Lord, and they encamped in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. And the people reviled Moses, saying, Give us water, that we may drink. And Moses said to them, Why do you revile me, and why tempt ye the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water, and there the people murmured against Moses, saying, Why is this? Hast thou brought us up out of Egypt to slay us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried to the Lord, saying, What shall I do to this people? Yet a little while, and they will stone me. And the Lord said to Moses, Go before this people, and take to thyself the elders of the people, and the rod with which thou smotest the river. Take it in thine hand, and thou shalt go. Behold, I stand there before thou come, on the rock in Coreb. And thou shalt smite the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink. And Moses did so before the sons of Israel. And he called the name of that place Temptation, and Reviling, because of the reviling of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? And Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua, Choose out for thyself mighty men, and go forth, and set the army in array against Amalek tomorrow. And behold, I shall stand on the top of the hill, and the rod of God will be in my hand. And Joshua did as Moses said to him, and he went out and set an army in array against Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses lifted up his hands, Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hands, Amalek prevailed. But the hands of Moses were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat upon it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on this side and the other on that. And the hands of Moses were supported till the going down of the sun. And Joshua routed Amalek and all his people with the slaughter of the sword. And the Lord said to Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and speak this in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly blot out the memorial of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar to the Lord, and called the name of it, The Lord my Refuge. For with his secret hand the Lord wages war upon Amalek to all generations. And Jothor, the priest of Madian, the father-in-law of Moses, heard of all that the Lord did to his people Israel. For the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt. And Jothor, the father-in-law of Moses, took Zipporah, the wife of Moses, after she had been sent away, and her 2 sons. The name of the one was Gersom, his father, saying, I was a sojourner in a strange land. And the name of the second, Eleazar, saying, For the God of my father is my helper, and he has rescued me out of the hand of Pharaoh. And Jothor, the father-in-law of Moses, and his sons and his wife, went forth to Moses into the wilderness, where he was encamped on the mount of God. And it was told Moses, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law Jothor is coming to thee, and thy wife and 2 sons with him. And Moses went forth to meet his father-in-law, and did him reverence, and kissed him. And they embraced each other, and he brought them into the tent. And Moses related to his father-in-law all the things that the Lord did to Pharaoh, and all the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the labor that had befallen them in the way, and that the Lord had rescued them out of the land of Pharaoh, and out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jothor was amazed at all the good things which the Lord did to them, for as much as he rescued them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh. And Jothor said, Blessed be the Lord, because he has rescued them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh. Now I know that the Lord is great above all gods because of this, wherein they attacked them. And Jothor, the father-in-law of Moses, took whole burnt offerings and sacrifices for God, and Aaron and all the elders of Israel came to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moses before God. And it came to pass after the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and all the people stood by Moses from morning till evening. And Jothor, having seen all that Moses did to the people, says, What is this that thou doest to the people? Wherefore sittest thou alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning till evening. And Moses says to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to seek judgment from God. For whenever there is a dispute among them, and they come to me, I give them judgment upon each, and I teach them the ordinances of God and his law. And the father-in-law of Moses said to him, Thou dost not this thing rightly. Thou wilt wear away with intolerable weariness, both those and all this people which is with thee. And the thing is hard. Thou wilt not be able to endure it for thyself alone. Now then, hearken to me, and I will advise thee, and God shall be with thee. Be thou to the people in things pertaining to God, and thou shalt bring their matters to God. And thou shalt testify to them the ordinances of God and his law, and thou shalt show to them the ways in which they shall walk, and the works which they shall do. And do thou look out for thyself out of all the people able men, fearing God, righteous men, hating pride, and thou shalt set over the people captains of thousands, and captains of hundreds, and captains of 50s, and captains of 10s. And they shall judge the people at all times, and the too burdensome matter they shall bring to thee. but they shall judge the smaller cases, so they shall relieve thee and help thee. If thou wilt do this thing, God shall strengthen thee, and thou shalt be able to attend, and all this people shall come with peace into their own place. And Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did whatsoever he said to him. And Moses chose out able men of all Israel, and made them captains of thousands, and captains of hundreds, and captains of fifties, and captains of tens over the people. And they judged the people at all times. And every too burdensome matter they brought to Moses, but every light matter they judged themselves. And Moses dismissed his father-in-law, and he returned to his own land. Psalm 25:26 in Hebrew, a psalm of David. Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in my innocence. In helping them, the Lord, I shall not be moved. Prove me, O Lord, and try me. Purify as with fire my reins and my heart. For thy mercy is before mine eyes, and I am well pleased with thy truth. I have not sat with the counsel of vanity, and will in no wise enter in with transgressors. I have hated the assembly of wicked doers, and I will not sit with ungodly men. I will wash my hands in innocency, and compass thine altar, O Lord, to hear the voice of praise, and to declare all thy wonderful works. O Lord, I have loved the beauty of thy house, and the place of thy tabernacle thy glory. Destroy not my soul together with the ungodly, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands are iniquities, and their right hand is filled with bribes. But I have walked in my innocence. Redeem me, and have mercy on me. My foot stands in an even place. In the congregations I will bless thee, O Lord. Proverbs chapter 5, verses 1 through 6. My son, attend to my wisdom, and apply thine ear to my words, that thou mayest keep good understanding, and the discretion of my lips gives thee a charge. Give no heed to a worthless woman, for honey drops from the lips of a harlot, who for a season pleases thy palate, but afterwards thou wilt find her more bitter than gall, and sharper than a two-edged sword. For the feet of folly lead those who deal with her down to the grave with death, and her steps are not established. For she goes not upon the paths of life, but her ways are slippery, and not easily known. The Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 15, verses 21 through 39. Then Jesus went thence, and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast, and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. And she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. And Jesus departed from thence, and came nigh unto the sea of Galilee, and went up into a mountain, and sat down there. And great multitudes came unto him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Jesus' feet, and he healed them. Insomuch that the multitude wondered, when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to be whole, the lame to walk, and the blind to see, and they glorified the God of Israel. Then Jesus called his disciples unto him, and said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now 3 days, and have nothing to eat. And I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. And his disciples say unto him, Whence should we have so much bread in the wilderness, as to fill so great a multitude? And Jesus saith unto them, How many loaves have ye? And they said, 7, and a few little fishes. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and the fishes, and gave thanks, and brake them, and gave to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitudes. And they all did eat, and were filled. And they took up of the broken meat that was left 7 baskets full. And they that did eat were 4,000 men, beside women and children. And he sent away the multitude, and took ship, and came to the coast of Magdala.